Nevada Enterprises building is considering buying a vacant lot that sells for 1.2 million. Then they're going to build another 5 million to put a hotel on it. Okay, the tax after tax cash flows is going to be dependent upon this tourism tax. If the tax imposed, we're going to get after tax cash flows of 600,000 for 15 years. If the tax not imposed, well, we're going to get 1.2 million for the next 15 years. The project has a 12% weighted average cost of capital, so that's what our we're looking at using that as an opportunity cost for our capital. Now, here's we're going to just look at the project if the tax is imposed. So we put our weighted average cost of capital here is 12%. We put in 6.2 million. That would be the 1.2 that it cost plus the 5 million today that we spent on the hotel. Okay, so then we put in 600,000 for 15 years. We put in our NPV formula and add in all these cells. Add the last one here, and our weighted average cost of capital is our rate. Okay, so we put our NPV, find our NPV, and it's a negative. So what would that tell you? Okay, now if the tax is not imposed, let's do the scenario where the tax is not imposed. We still have our 12% NPV. We have our 6.2 million cash flow zero, and we have our 1.2 million for 15 years. So we find our NPV here. You can see the NPV formula up in the formula bar. Okay, now part C of the question asks, what if there's a 50% chance that the tax will be imposed? What is the expected NPV? Okay, so we have our probabilities here, 50% imposed, 50% not. All right, so we're going to say our expected NPV equals the probability is times our NPV if the tax is not imposed plus the probability times NPV if no tax is imposed. Okay, and so now we find our expected MVP. So it's still negative. While the company does not have an option to delay construction, it does have the option to abandon the project 1 year from now if the tax is imposed. If it abandons the project, it will sell the complete property 1 year at an expected price of $6 million. Once the project is abandoned, the company will no longer receive any cash inflows, assuming all cash inflows are discounted at 12%. Will the existence of the abandonment option affect the company's decision? Okay, so here we have a 50% probability that the tax will be imposed and 12% weighted average cost of capital. So if the tax is imposed, we have our NPV of, if the tax is imposed, what we're going to do is we're not going to keep doing it here. We're going to abandon, right? So because we know it's going to be negative. So we abandon, we get our cash flow in, and so we have our cash flow here would be 6 million. We get our 6 million for selling it. We get our 6,600,000. We still have negative NPV. If the tax is not imposed, we still have a 50% probability of that in our probability here. So now we're going to have an expected NPV of, because what we're going to do is abandon, so we have to find our expected NPV. We have to say this NPV times 50% plus this NPV, because we abandoned it now, times 50%, to find a new expected NPV. And you can see it's positive now. Okay, we'll stop there.